Welcome back to Autopro Wiev. Today, we explore a car that pushes the boundaries of automotive luxury and exclusivity, the 2026 Mercedes-Maybach SL Mythos Series. In an era when ultra-luxury hypercars often feel like exercises in excess, this new Roadster promises something different. A blend of art, performance, and rarity. In this video, we'll break down where the Mythos sits in the Maybach universe. Its design philosophy, technical heart, interior luxuries, driving character, and crucially, who this car is made for and what it tells us about the future of high-end luxury cars. Let's get started. QQD1, BCK Giro ND and QNTech XTBHYMYTHOS EVOA. To understand the Mythos, we need to go back a step and look at what Mercedes-Maybach has done to date. Maybach has long been the halo brand for Mercedes' ultra-luxury segment, traditionally reserved for sedans, limousines, and high-end SUVs. But in recent years, rumors began swirling about a far more dramatic offering, a sub-brand or model line beyond even Maybach's current portfolio, one built around exclusivity, handcraftsmanship, and limited production. That whisper evolved into the Mythos concept, a small, bespoke series of cars that would carry not just the Maybach badge, but a new aura of collectability and elevated identity. In other words, Maybach for the collectors, done with even more restraint, more artistry, and yes, more price premium. Early hints suggest that these cars may not simply be Maybach variants of existing models, but unique pieces in their own right. Recent leaks and renderings point to a Mythos version of the SL Roadster as a cornerstone of this new direction. Some media refer to the SL Mythos debut in 2026. In short, Mythos is the next step in exclusivity for Mercedes' ultra-luxury arm, and the SL version is likely to be its first true showcase. L's cut to teaser images, renderings, concept art, B-roll visuals E202, DSIGN and Exter IORVO. Let's talk looks, because with a car like this, aesthetics carry more weight than ever. Silhouette and proportions, the Mythos SL is expected to embrace the pure, low-slung roadster form. 2 seats only, with no rear bench, eliminating rear visibility compromises and giving the car a classic speedster profile. Reports and renderings show dramatic speed bumps or fairings behind each headrest, and a windscreen that may be deliberately raked or cropped to emphasize the open-air drama. Some sources hint at a cut-down windshield design, but two-tone finishes and signature cues building on Maybach's tradition of striking two-tone paint. The Mythos will likely adopt bold, contrasting color concepts. Early reports describe a hood in deep black, possibly with repeated Mythos badging subtly etched or laser-etched into it, surrounded by a contrasting base tone. Distinctive grillwork is expected. An illuminated grille, bespoke Maybach motif, and perhaps vertical slats sculpted in optical detail, chrome and metal accents, sculpted side skirts, integrated aero elements, and custom wheels will all reinforce that this car isn't an afterthought variant. It's a statement. Lighting, trim, detailing anticipate bespoke headlamps and taillamps with custom inlays, accent lighting, etched Maybach Mythos monograms, LED strips that outline form over function, and trim elements in polished metal or precious metal finishes. The soft top is likely to be premium, perhaps with logo, pattern stitching, or embossing, balanced acoustically for silence. All in all, the design should read less like an SL derivative and more like a visionary roadster that nevertheless carries the DNA of both Maybach and classic Grand Tourer elegance. 222E3. Power EIN and Perfo Arme NCEVOE. BD is nothing without a beating heart. So what powers this Mythos SL under the skin? Engine and architecture. While Mercedes has not confirmed every detail, media sources and strongly suggest the Mythos SL will use a version of the 4.0-liter twin-turbo V8 that currently powers the Mercedes AMG SL 63s and the Maybach SL 680i. That V8 produces about 577 PS and 590 lb-ft of torque in its current form. However, for the Mythos, richer tuning, bespoke exhaust, and possibly mild hybrid or electrification assistance may push output beyond base numbers. Some speculative sources suggest it could cross 600 kW at 800 HP territory, though that remains conjecture. Transmission, drivetrain and dynamics. Expect a 9-speed automatic gearbox as used in the SL63 to Maybach SL in a 4MAT all-wheel drive or similarly capable system, tuned for both finesse and grip. Given the exclusive nature, the Mythos SL will likely get extra suspension calibration, additional sound insulation, adaptive dampers, active roll bars, and rear axle steering to balance performance with grand touring comfort. Performance estimates, because of likely added weight and bespoke components. 60 mph could land in the 3.8-4.2 second range, though exact numbers remain to be confirmed. Top speed may be electronically limited, possibly in the 60 to 2000 mph bracket, depending on aerodynamics and gearing. But here's the nuance: the Mythos SL likely won't be about ultimate lap times. Rather, it will aim for a refined, composed, high-speed cruise with accessible high-end performance. A grand touring roadster that doesn't feel like a bare bones track car in luxury clothing. 2224. Interior and UXUR SUVOE, step inside, and this is where the Mythos is meant to distinguish itself from any mere performance car with good leather. Expect a sanctuary-level cabin filled with artisan materials, custom touches, and ultra-luxury comfort. Materials and finishes: full Napa leather, possibly in exclusive color themes, will dominate. Expect hand-stitched upholstery, seat surfaces with intricate patterns, padded surfaces, and trimming in exotic woods, carbon fiber, or precious metals. Some reports point to a crystal white leather theme for certain editions. Seating and ergonomics: comfort will matter. Seats are likely to be deeply bolstered but supple, with heating, cooling, and massage functions. Neck warmers or air scarf-style vents may keep you comfortable even with the top down on cooler nights. The sides of the seats may be scalloped to ease ingress and egress. Some elements, like lowered seat sides, are already used in the Maybach SL 680 to ease entry. Dash, instrumentation and tech: a custom digital instrument cluster with Maybach's Mythos themed startup animations, bespoke user interfaces, and accent lighting is expected. The infotainment system will likely build on Mercedes MBUX architecture, with voice control, augmented reality overlays, 3D visuals, etc. Display surfaces might integrate multi-layered glass, ambient lighting, etched logos. Luxury accoutrements: expect small but meaningful touches. Premium sound systems, perhaps co-developed with a high-end audio brand, bespoke luggage sets, personalized trim panels, ambient scenting, and finishes in brass, rose gold, or other luxe metals. Even things like seat back mirrors, wind deflectors, and storage compartments will be integrated with elegance. Because the Mythos is about exclusivity, buyers may get access to customization options unimaginable in volume models. Bespoke upholstery, rare woods, hand-painted effects, and one-off commissions. T225. RVNG experience in Chiatracher VOA. Okay, what does it feel like behind the wheel? Let's piece together how the Mythos SL is likely to drive, based on what we know and what makes sense in this ultra-luxury niche. Ride quality and noise control: Maybach's approach has often been to smooth away harshness. The Mythos is expected to follow this: extra sound insulation, vibration, damping materials, active noise cancellation, or acoustic tuning. The suspension will be tuned for compliance in normal settings, yet firm up when needed. The handling might feel more composed than aggressive, precise but with softness over undulating roads. Handling and cornering thanks to likely rear axle steering, active anti-roll bars, and fine tune damping. The Mythos SL should feel stable and controlled in corners. It won't aim to be the sharpest car on track, but it will deliver confidence at speed, blending performance with composure. The all-wheel drive system adds grip without drama. Top-down dynamics: open air driving introduces wind buffeting, noise, and turbulence challenges. Mythos will likely manage these with wind deflectors behind seats, active aerodynamics, carefully shaped windscreens, and perhaps software-controlled air curtains. The experience should remain luxurious and relaxed even with the roof down. Cruising and highway character: this is where Mythos aims to shine. Long-distance cruising, serene highway runs, relaxed speed while cocooned in refinement. The car may excel at soaking up mileage, yet still respond eagerly when you demand acceleration. E2K6, EXCLUSIVY, Marking and PCING VOA. The Mythos program is, in many ways, a branding exercise as much as a car. It wants to occupy the highest summit of collectible luxury. Limited production: expect very small numbers, perhaps hundreds, or even dozens, depending on how narrowly Mercedes wants to define it. Each car might be individually numbered or commissioned. That rarity is part of the allure. Price expectations: given the craftsmanship, custom nature, and exclusive components, the price will command a hefty premium above even flagship Maybach models. Speculation in recent months has placed pricing well into the six-figure to 300,000 LUPS territory or higher, depending on markets. Collectability and brand halo: vehicles like the Mythos serve not just as products, but as statements. Brand halo models that demonstrate capabilities, craftsmanship, and elevated aspiration. They appear in concours events, private collections, and sometimes museums. Owners may gain access to exclusive events, bespoke services, and privileged club access. Positioning this competition in effect, Mythos competes less with conventional supercars and more with ultra-luxury one-offs from brands like Bentley, Aston Martin, Rolls-Royce, or bespoke coach builders. Its strength lies in blending performance, brand heritage, and exclusivity in a package that carries the Mercedes-Maybach gravitas. Risks and challenges, of course. Launching a new ultra-luxury sub-series carries risks: cost control, certification, customer support, and maintaining brand coherence. Also, balancing the performance vs. luxury trade-offs is delicate. Too sporty, and you lose the Maybach identity. Too soft, and you lose allure among enthusiasts. Kini 7 to 30 mans for RTHE Futuari VOE. The Mythos SL is more than a car. It's a symbol of where hyper-luxury is heading. It signals Mercedes' intent to double down on exclusivity, to cater to ultra-wealthy collectors who view cars not just as transport, but as objects of art and status. It opens the door to further Mythos variants, perhaps SUVs, GTs, or coupes, all built around bespoke, low-volume design. It also shows a pathway for traditional luxury brands. Even as electrification and shared mobility rise, there remains a niche for hyper-luxury experiences built around creativity, craftsmanship, and storytelling. Cars like the Mythos will live in a rarefied tier where brand mystique, emotional connection, and uniqueness matter more than utility. For you, the viewer, the Mythos SL is a window into that future. It shows what's possible when performance, design, and luxury converge at the highest level. OD8. Kali UCON and KL2ACNVO. As we wrap up, the 2026 Mercedes-Maybach SL Mythos Series stands as a promise of exclusivity, elegance, and uncompromising ambition. It's not just a badge on a Roadster, but a statement from Mercedes that luxury still has frontiers to explore. Will it live up to the hype? Time will tell. But if you are a collector, an enthusiast, or someone who believes cars are more than metal and wheels, the Mythos is a car to watch. If you enjoyed this deep dive, hit that like button, subscribe to Autopro Wiev, and ring the bell so you don't miss our future reviews, updates, and supercar stories. Drop a comment below. What's your favorite detail on the Mythos, or what would you add if you had one? Until next time, stay driven, stay curious, and thanks for watching.